to start this final quarter at Ivanhoe Park. Gilmore gets a tap down. Schultz takes possession, but is wrapped up by O'Sullivan. The umpire calls for a secondary stoppage and will get play started immediately. Gilmore gets a tap down behind him, finds a teammate, but it is going to be Bergman for Ivanhoe, sending it inside at forward 50. Going back, taking a courageous mark is Nicolo for Old Paradians. And the 50-metre penalty has been played. Didn't give him the ball on the full. And Old Paradians going to have the first foray inside at forward 50 in this final quarter. And it's David Nicolo with it. Or Jack Nicolo, sorry. I don't know where I got David from. Jack Nicolo sends Old Paradians inside forward 50. Might be going all the way. He sent one. Gilmore's there. It goes over, but it's touched by the Ivanhoe defenders. They made sure the goal umpire knew it. And it's first score on the board, and scores are level here at Ivanhoe Park. 5-5, 35 apiece.
Sorry, I thought that one had gone through.
It did look like it.
Selwood, long bomb now towards the corridor. It's going to be intercepted again. And it is that man, Jack Nicolo. He's had a bit of it already. His kick, an interesting one, getting hands onto it was Paulino. He had a fresh area off the ground, didn't get any connection onto it, and now Ivanhoe moved through Moran. Down the ground he goes. That one too hot for Value. Nicolo getting intercepted as well. Value kept running, but he can't shrug off the tackle. And holding the ball was the call. Brilliant effort that was from Kyle O'Sullivan.
He has come alive in this second half as Kyle O'Sullivan.
He's been terrific, and now we're starting to see glimpses of what we saw from Ivanhoe in this third term. The pressure right back on the Hoers. And Old Paradians are doing the damage at the moment as Sean Desmond has it at centre-half back. He'll go through the middle of the ground. It was an interesting one, but it works here for Brunskill. He's got a couple of options now for him. He decides to go a little more central, and the kick is a good one because he's got players out here now. Where do they go inside 50? A chipping ball, is that going to work? It is a good kick, and it finds Healy. Is Healy too far out to score? He quickly goes back on his line. He's got players asking for it inside 50. Tom Cooper's in plenty of space, but he's more lateral. And it looks like Healy's going to have it all himself. Now he pops it up towards the top of the goal square. Out the back, a chance here for the Raiders. Is that going to dribble through? It's across the face. And it's going to go out of bounds for a boundary throw. Not a bad result there for the visitors.
Not at all. And first goal of this final quarter is just so important. 2.5 minutes gone.
Already the Paradians are getting more numbers to each contest inside their forward 50, making it harder for Ivanhoe to intercept and get it back out.
It's Paulino doing the ruck work for Old Paradians. He taps it in front of himself, but it's roved by Schultz. Snaps one around the body outside of defensive 50. Nicolo just shoves his opponent out of that contest. Shoved him in the side. It was all fair. No, he's gone in the back. The umpire's overturned it. So Nicolo's given away the free kick, and it will be Ivanhoe with it on the half-back flank. Assessing options up the ground. Sees something he likes. Does Moran. Goes inside the centre. Gets a fist to it. Does the Old Paradians defender. But it's going to come to ground. It's going to be Ivanhoe looking to get it. He's caught holding the ball. He's been called for a throw, has the Ivanhoe man. So it will be Brunskill with it. He goes to the outer side. Just gets over the head of his intended target. And there is going to be a pack of players forming over this ball. It's been kicked off the ground towards the Ivanhoe bench, trying to find the boundary line, and they have eventually. So it's a hectic first few minutes of this final quarter, but the ball will be thrown back into play out of sight of Ivanhoe Park. Just under 4 minutes played.
5-5, 35 apiece. Ernst and Gilmore both getting a fist to it, back towards the boundary line. And do they keep this ball in play? I reckon they will. Bergman's going to get this footy. No. Umpire says it was out of bounds. No. It was a free kick to Ivanhoe, and now 50. So I think, I'm not sure if it's Bergman that's going to have possession of the football, but there was obviously an infringement just before that ball went out of bounds. Ivanhoe was going to keep playing. Old Paradians have given away a 50-metre penalty, and now the Hoers have it on the outer side. Maybe a touch too far out to score for the man with the footy. And he's going to start his approach from a tough angle. This would be a ripping goal if the Hoers can get it from there. Comes in, and that's not bad. Missing to the left. And they hit the front again, albeit by just a point now, Ivanhoe. 5-6-36, Old Paradians 5-5-35. We are almost 5 minutes now into the last quarter.
Old Paradians looking to use that corridor. Nicolo takes the mark, still inside defensive 50, just slows things down and goes backwards slightly. So on the halfback flank for Old Paradians. And we're going to go further back to the very last line of defence. And it is Will Gilmore who takes that mark right in front of the scoreboard here. Just marshalling his players to get to a position that he likes. And eventually is called to play on. So just going to send a long kick up the ground in the Healy direction. Gets first hands to it and has his arms chopped. So a strong mark for Blair Healy. He has it defensive side of centre wing for the Raiders. He's got a teammate providing an option short in Tolly. And he goes there, takes that mark.
Down the line, important here.
Definitely. He's got players giving him options, those short kicks for the Paradians, but he doesn't see anything he likes. So just going to play the long game and go back inside defensive 50. The kick is cut off and now snapped towards goal. Might have been Ernst who took that one. Eventually finds its way towards the behind. So another minor score for Ivanhoe. Came out of nowhere. 5-7-37, leading Old Paradians 5-5-35. Was it Ethan Wild?
Sorry. No, it was Ethan Hunt,
sorry.
Actually. But yes, that did come out of nowhere and just putting the Raiders on the back foot there. So they're struggling to get it out of defensive 50. That is a good exit kick, but they're still in their defensive half. Down the line, this ball goes, and that ball will be taken out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So 6.5 minutes into this final term, Zach, what have you noticed more? As looks like Old Paradians are going to win this ball, so I'll get to you in a moment. The Raiders, they're going to go through the corridor here, and they're the ones that are behind, but they're happy to just choose some time off the clock at the minute. The visitors trying to play it safe at the moment. They don't like anything ahead, but now they're forced to go in that direction. It was a good kick in the end, and now they've got numbers inside forward 50. This kick might work out. They go towards the pocket. Putting hands to it was Healy, and that ball's going to go out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So, Zach, 7 minutes in to the final term. What's caught your eye most, and who do you think's got the upper hand heading into the middle patch of the term?
Well, I think that pressure from Ivanhoe has really just dropped off. I know there was an intercept there where they almost got a goal from it, but it just feels as though either the Paradians have done something or Ivanhoe just haven't had that same level of pressure that got them back into this game to start off this quarter, which I think has really helped the Raiders I guess probably get on top. They look like the better side so far in this last quarter.
Ivanhoe paddled it out of defence from the ruck contest, and it is wrapped up. So it's going to be balled up once again. Gilmore gets a perfect tap down to a teammate. Kick inside forward 50 for the Raiders. Paulino's there at the bottom of that pack. Gets a tap forward. It's a big tackle laid by the Ivanhoe defender. And it is going to be play on. So it's still bobbling around inside the Old Paradian forward 50. Laying a big tackle is Healy. And eventually the umpire does call for it. So we'll have a stoppage inside forward 50 for Old Paradians. Gilmore and Ernst. Gilmore taps it forward, and I think he might have been given a free kick. It was a push. Ernst barreled into him in that ruck contest, so Sam Gilmore will have a shot on goal to give Old Paradians the lead once again.
This is massive. Gilmore yet to kick a goal in Old Paradians' colours. I don't believe, at least. I might be proven wrong there. But nonetheless, a massive opportunity for Old Paradians to get this lead back as we tick towards the 8.5 minute mark of this final term. And in a low scoring match, every goal will be crucial, you would think. Gilmore starts his approach. He'll kick from about 40 out. Gilmore comes in and it's across the face and it's through for a behind. And it's back to a 1 point contest. 5-6-36 Old Paradians. Ivanhoe a 5-7-37. We are 9 minutes into this final term, and could that have been an opportunity missed for Old Paradians? We're about to find out. It's going to be quickly cleared away by Schultz, who takes a bounce from the goal square. Goes straight through to corridor, off hands. Now ball hits the deck. Getting first here should be Paulino. Got the handball away to Brunskill, and now his hands work for Phillips. They go to switch it across, and it works because they've got numbers here, do the Raiders. Now they go towards half forward. The target there was Mahoney. Umpire allows things to go ahead. Now it's Ivanhoe with the numbers in their defensive 50. Handball works. They're handballing their way out of trouble. Then they'll switch it away. This is a tough kick. 2-on-1 in favour.
No.
But reading that one best on that occasion was Lay. Lay tries to kick it forward. Does so successfully. Ward's going to get in top of this. So Ward is tackled really strongly. In fact, it was Moran, I should say. That was caught in a big tackle by King. And we're going to have a ball up centre wing broadcast side. We are now into the 10-minute mark of the last quarter.
Umpire gets the play restarted. The ruckman running in. Gilmore's going to be the only one contest it. He runs out, handballs to forward for the Paradians. And he's bundled over the boundary line. So another stoppage on the wing right in front of our broadcast position here at Ivanhoe Park. It's a nighttime footy. It's great to see a big crowd in here supporting these two clubs. Umpire throws the ball back into play. Gilmore just shoves his opponent out of that ruck contest. Doesn't get the tap down. And it is going to be Ivanhoe getting in the clearance. No, it's come out to the Raiders. And taking the relieving mark for the Hoers is Pasuto. He has it at centre half back. Just going to slow things down. And almost taking the mark. Does it. Takes a couple of juggles, but Jamie Lay does a good job to hold on to that one. Defensive side of centre wing for the home side. And we'll just look up the ground. Can't see anything that he likes, so just a long one. He was pressured as he kicked and forced it out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, good
so
job.
An opportunity for the Raiders.
Good job there from Jack Witchell. Didn't get a smother, but he might as well have because that ball went out of bounds on the full. They win the turnover. Now the high ball back in that same direction. Contest forms, off hands. And that ball's going to go out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Both sides wanting free kicks for different reasons there, but umpire will just say it's a draw. We're going to have a throw-in. We're about 65, 70 metres out from the old Paradians goal. They trail this contest by a point. We're into the last quarter. Both no ruckman getting a clear tap, and we're going to have a secondary stoppage courtesy of Marcus Nolan. So we're almost 12 minutes in. It's been a low-scoring game, so this quarter might not last that long. Gilmore wins the tap, then wins the footy, then drops the footy, and the free kick's going to Ivanhoe. So took him on, and the ball's going to land in the hands of Liam Ward. Ward doesn't have many options he likes, hesitates a little, and then with the right boot sends it towards half forward. Close is the target, ricocheted off him, and then trying to punch that forward is Schultz. Old Paradians with the numbers in the back half. They clear it away, but not effectively. Still under a bit of pressure to do so. Great pressure here instead from the Hoers. They have to handball their way out of trouble, and they do so well. The composure was strong there from Old Paradians when they needed it most. They go towards the outer side. Trying to affect that one was Pursuto. Now it's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Raiders. Ball hits the deck. Numbers arrive for Ivanhoe. It's just bobbling around at the moment. No one with a clear foot. It's going to be Ivanhoe now that send it back into play, and it's going to be cut off. Old Paradians want to move that quickly, maybe too quickly. That kick to Gilmore was a tough one, but it works for him, and he's got it inside defensive 50. What numbers has he have at his disposal? Decides to kick it towards Thompson. He takes the mark. Now he has a couple of options down the line. He's going to go long and deep. This is a chance here for Kafari. He's got two to beat. Selwood didn't get hands onto it either. They're under pressure here, Ivanhoe. Ball hits the deck. They win out Old Paradians. They get boots of ball. They're only 1-on-1. Inside forward 50. It's a foot race. A chance here, and Ivanhoe cleverly take that ball out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary thrown inside for the Raiders.
That forward 50 entry is thanks to Joel Tolley for Old Paradians. His pressure around to force a turnover there and then get it inside forward 50. He's a little sore, but he should get a pat on the back if they're able to get a goal here.
Laid a big tackle a couple of moments ago, did Tolley, as the tap comes down for Ivanhoe, and the clearing kick comes outside a defensive 50, and it's gone out of bounds, and there wasn't anyone in the vicinity, so it has been called insufficient intent, and it will be an Old Paradians free kick through Noah Whittle. Goes back to centre wing. And the Raiders will look to send one back inside forward 50 over the head of Nicolo. And it is going to be rebounded by Value. He sends one to close and the edge of the centre square. He's a bit too far out to score, but he's just slowing things down and getting options inside forward 50. He goes long to the hot spot, does close, and there's a big fly at the back for Ivanhoe. Can't take the mark, was Vines. And it does eventually go over the boundary line in front of the scoreboard. And Ivanhoe with a chance now to get another score here midway through this final term. 14 and a half minutes played.
It's tense. 14 and a half minutes into the last quarter. The home side lead by just a point. Gilmore getting the tap. Goes towards the boundary line. And then it's going to be tight on the boundary line. That kick towards goal from the Hoers. It's not going to work for anything other than a behind. And it's now a 2-point lead for the home side. 5-8-38 Ivanhoe. Old Paradians 5-6-36. How did the Paradians get themselves inside forward 50 from here, Zach?
I think they've just got to almost surge football, do what Ivanhoe did before, but they have been able to find a way in this last quarter to just use their skills and back themselves in. I just don't think in the context of the game right now, clean football is going to work.
Ball hits the deck, a lot of numbers around, no one able to get clean possession for the time being. It might spill away. Keeping that forward is O'Sullivan, and umpire happy to call for a ball up. So we're centre wing out of side. It is 15.5 into the last quarter.
But it was almost exactly what Zach said. It was a one kick and they've got themselves to forward of centre wing, have Old Paradians. So O'Sullivan gets onto that stoppage and will be ushered over the boundary line. So the ball will be thrown back in, out of side here at Ivanhoe Park. 15.5 minutes gone, final quarter. It is a 2-point ball game between the two newest sides in the Northern Football Netball League Senior Men's Division. Gilmore gets the tap down, just grabs it out of the ruck and just sends a sky ball forward for Old Paradians. No one brave enough to stand under that one, and eventually just finds its way out of bounds in front of the Ivanhoe bench and will be thrown back into play.
I don't want to exaggerate, but Gilmore has literally been everywhere tonight. Forward, midfield, back, winning hit-outs, taking courageous marks, creating contests, and he is doing absolutely everything in his power to keep his side in this game. They trail by 2 points. He got the tap there on that occasion, and the Paradians win the clearance. A chance for Kafari at the back. Can't take the mark. In there as well was Doyle for Ivanhoe trying to create a contest. Ball hits the deck. Umpire calls for a stoppage. Inside 50 for operating Zach.
Huge intercept by Paulino there. There was about 3 or 4 Ivanhoe players streaming forward. They were out the back if they'd got it. Massive intercept, got it inside forward 50, and they've got a stoppage and a good chance at a goal here, the Raiders.
Ernst gets the tap. A chance here for Kafari right on the boundary. A lot of numbers around this footy though, and the umpire's going to call for a ball up.
And it looks like in this last quarter it's going to be Paulino doing the ruck work inside forward 50 and Gilmore just sitting back as a loose man behind the ball as the ball thrown back up into play. And we might have yet another stoppage as the ball just bobbles around. No one able to take it cleanly and eventually does find its way over the boundary line for a throw-in.
I think it was Desmond, not Paulino, with the intercept.
So it will be thrown back into play deep inside forward 50 for Old Paradians. Paulino at the back gets the tap down. Bursting through was Nolan. Can't get the kick, and Schultz sends one out of defensive 50 for Ivanhoe. It's going to come straight back in through the Raiders, and a long kick to the top of the goal square. A big fly at the back, but there's a man standing there for the Hoers, and it is Harry Burke taking a strong grab inside defensive 50.
17 3/4 minutes into the final term. Burke just sends it towards centre wing on the outer side. A lot of players competing for this one at ground level, though. Might work out for the Raiders. Now Ivanhoe numbers arrive to the contest. We're going to have a ball up on the outer side.
For Ivanhoe, I think this is where if you have possession of the ball in your back 50, look for Scott Selwood. You need to get some class now, launching scores and a potential to go in to get it inside forward 50.
Gilmore grabbed it out of the ruck, tried to get things forward, but they're going to win a free kick here. Old Paradians. They're 55 metres out. They send a high ball towards the hot spot, and again, it's a great intercept mark coming from Harry Burke.
He's done that a couple of times in the last few minutes. He said that. He's that extra number. It looks like Gilmore it is for Old Paradians, but it's Burke on the opposite side of things for this Ivanhoe side. They work the ball around to the outer side of Ivanhoe Park. And just looking to move the ball long down the line, just get a bit of territory. Flying back, looked like it might have been Mahoney, couldn't take the grab. And eventually the ball finds its way to the bottom of the pack. And we will have another stoppage forward of centre half for the Ivanhoe side.
We're 1 minute away from time on. And it's only a 2-point margin as we speak in favour of Ivanhoe. Tap from Ernst. Try to get rid of that football there was Jones. Was unsuccessful. We'll have another stoppage. 19.25 minutes into this last quarter. Still anybody's game. We are getting a fantastic night of football so far. Gilmore with the punch. Will it work though for the Raiders? They have to handball it back to win the clearance, but that's exactly how it works out for them. Kafari was the target, went over his head. Numbers with the Hoers. They win it at ground level. Clearing kick away from Dorr, goes down the line. Bouncing ball. Who will it favour? Ernst tried to keep it moving forward, couldn't do so. Ball hits the deck again. Now it's all Paradians with the numbers. That ball was affected, and it's a high one rather than a long one. Tough one to mark. No one does so. The Raiders win out. They'll go inside 50. Now it's a bounce for anybody's favour. At the back, it's a snap on goal. It's a goal! A magnificent goal from Nolan, and it's Old Paradians. They hit the front. He's third of the night, and they move to 6-6-42. Ivanhoe 5-8-38, and well, it was a chaos ball inside 50. Nolan read it best, and the captain puts his side in front late in this last quarter.
I know we pumped up Sam Gilmore a bit tonight, but there was a moment there where that ball came up high through Witchell, and he was the man standing under it. He knew he wasn't going to take the mark, and I could see he kind of just bent his hands to paddle the ball forward for his side. And it was just one of those little things that great players can do and forces the ball forward. And Marcus Nolan having an impact late in this game, putting Old Paradians back in front as the ball finds its way back into the middle of Ivanhoe Park. The Hoers go inside forward 50. Mark is spoiled, and it will come towards the outer side. And it's going to be Colatillo with it. Now cleared out of defence for the Raiders. It's a 3-on-1 in favour of the away side. And they try to paddle it forward, but coming in hard is Geary. He forces it over the boundary line, and umpire will throw it back in.
Zach, they've moved Selwood into the midfield. That's where they need him to be right now.
Definitely need class around the contest just to get it inside their own forward 50. When you're down by 4 points, you need those type of players on in and around the ball, which he is now.
21.25 minutes into the final term. Old Paradians lead by 4 points. Can they win another clearance here? The Hoers, they do well to wrap them up, do Old Paradians. We have another stoppage. I'll be happy to wind down the clock. As we said, not many goals in this game. Could be another short quarter. Gilmore doing his best to get the tap and did so. Almost a clearing kick. Works for Hunt. Ricochets off a couple. Works back here. Is Old Paradians that win the free? No. It's going to Ivanhoe. Now, it was Mahoney that kicked that ball away. Ivanhoe just happy to get that back. Schultz senses the urgency. He's just going to go long. He sold the candy, and now just a high ball. This is where Close is at his best. Can he get there? No, a fantastic intercept coming through, and a great effort from Declan Brunskill, who's able to save the day for the time being.
He was one you mentioned in the pre-game, looking to have an impact. Coming over from Cobram is Brunskill. Now the Raiders looking to move this one out of defence. Healy's there, can't take clean possession. It's a big tackle late on the outer side, and now the ball just paddles forward. Taking possession is Moran. He's set upon. And I think eventually either it's gone out of bounds or the umpire has called for it.
I think it is the former.
Yeah, so the boundary umpire will throw this ball back into play. 22.5 minutes gone, final term. It is a 4-point game. Old Paradians leading. Play restarts on centre wing. Ernst gets the tap down, does well. Now it's paddled forward for Ivanhoe, going in low and hard. And trying to draw the free kick, but nothing doing, says the umpire. And we'll have another stoppage in the middle of Ivanhoe Park.
23 minutes in. It's still a 4-point ball game. Is there something else in this match, or have Old Paradians done enough? The tackling is strong, and it's going to force another stoppage. It's been great to see these two new sides under lights, and they've put together definitely a thrilling contest in the reserves. It's looking the case in the seniors so far. No one can get a clean look at it at the moment with the footy. Ball bobbling around everywhere, a few players sliding in. Now it's cleared away by Brunskill for the Raiders. High ball and a great mark taken in defence. Now they'll have to move through Ivanhoe to go and switch it across. Still a chance down the line. The kick is a decent one. Will it bounce up here for Moran? It might. It still doesn't bounce up for him. Witchell applying some great pressure there from the Raiders. And again, some underrated moments in this last quarter from Jack Witchell. And we've got another stoppage as a result.
Well, it's getting to the real pointing end of things where 24 minutes into this final quarter. There can't be too long left. There hasn't been too many stoppages in play as Gilmore just stumps one forward for the Raiders. We find Schultz, who just turns around and snaps one forward for the Hoers. It comes down into the hands of Value. Can't take clean possession. And now it's going to be wrapped up just outside forward 50 for the home side. They're going to need to get a ball inside forward 50 and get a shot on goal late in this game. We saw it in the reserves, a goal after the siren to win, but that was for Parade. And can Ivanhoe do the same? Ball thrown back into play. It's a big tackle late, kicked off the ground. There has been a whistle. Was it a high free kick?
It's going to be an Ivanhoe ball.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, it is an Ivanhoe ball. So Daniel Jones has it outside forward 50 for the Hoers. The crowd is asking him to get it inside forward 50. Siren sounds! heartbreak for Ivanhoe at their home ground, and it is Old Paradians who claim the victory 6-6-42. Ivanhoe 5-8-38.
Well, and that is a man that we have had on this program before. For the very first time, we'll be having this man in Old Paradians colours, but he thoroughly deserves his award this evening after a terrific display here at Ivanhoe Park. Sam Gilmore, welcome back, and I guess first and foremost, mate, you caught your breath a little bit after that result tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty hot footy in that fourth quarter, wasn't it? It was a repeat, and I was on my haunches, but hey, a win's a win. How good's that?
Absolutely. I mean, there were certain stages where we felt like the Raiders were going to run away with it at half-time, and then Ivanhoe turned the pressure on, and they bring it back in that third quarter. So how did it feel being out there in that final quarter, knowing that every possession, every kick in such a low-scoring game was going to be vital towards a result?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we just had to compete every time, either way it went, particularly when we were trying to drive it forward, because they were just sitting off the back, and with Selwood and Schultz and those guys, such good ball users, and they were just picking us off and coming forward. So, contest going forward and then coming back, get in front of close is so dangerous.
Absolutely. I was just going to say quickly as well, I would love to know if you could just send us through either tomorrow or next day your kilometres, because I reckon you have been running up and down this park the entire night. You were in the back filling in the hole, you're up forward creating a contest. We've seen you do it before at Heidelberg, of course, but I guess a little bit of a different kettle of fish with how this game played out. How are you feeling? Because it seemed like you just had such a workhorse mentality throughout the entire night.
You know what? I think I'm still learning how to play both in Parade and how to play in this Division 3 comp. It's obviously different to what I've been at with Heidelberg and how we move the footy. So I think a shift tonight, mentality-wise, was workhorse, repeat contest. It's hard to hang on to anything when it's so contested. Yeah. The greasy footy, so it's just repeat stoppage. That's all I could do, just work.
And Ben Turner was chatting in the rooms after that one, and you talk about wanting to come here and spoil the party for Ivanhoe, because this is the fixture that they've been looking forward to as the year has started. And I don't know if you actually saw the end of the reserves game, or you might have just heard about it.
I heard about it in the room. Somebody's come running in going, we'll kick one on the siren. Yeah, all right.
But the fact to come in here and get 2 wins against this Ivanhoe side, I don't know if it's a thing internally, but you're coming into the competition together, so I think externally everyone's going to compare the two sides. What was kind of the preparation for this game like as a club?
Yeah, I think we don't know where we sit. And to be honest, we're still working that a little bit. So we had a good hit out last week against West. Different style of footy. Ivanhoe, like I mentioned before, got some good ball users, got some good aerialists. Just, I think, a pretty well-rounded side. Got some talented guys. So I think for us, and a bit similar to my game, which was just grind this out, work as hard as we can, and every contest is important because, you know what, end-to-end, this is a small deck, so you can really take some grass quickly, and you can find space in the wings. So, yeah, I think spoiling the party, that was obviously the goal, but it was just come and work our ass off, really.
Absolutely. Well, look, I mean, from what we've been able to see over tonight and also last week, you've settled in pretty well, of course, playing with your brother, which I'm sure you're absolutely loving that. How have you settled into time at Garvey Oval so far? You've got obviously an experienced coach in Ben Turner who knows the NFNL and knows the styles of play, albeit in a different competition in Division 3. But how have you found your time so far in the off-season, and what have you enjoyed most about playing for Old Paradians?
A little bit of a homecoming for me. So I went to school there. I've had cousins play there. I've had uncles play there. BT was my PE teacher back when I was there, so I've known him for 15 years. So, you know, there's this nice network and romance about coming home to Garvey to probably finish the career, if I can say that. But, yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's kind of special for me, and to try and take this club where, you know what, they became a little bit irrelevant in the VAFA, and the message to come into the Northern was, you know, let's get the Parade boys back and let's drive this club again, and I'm grateful to be a part of that. And it's been some fun so far. 2 rounds in. We've got a few more to go, though. And
we obviously saw you at the Division 1 level over the last couple of seasons. There's another player on the other side that we've seen, Ash Close. We'd seen him. He was pretty good for Ivanhoe tonight. He took a big hanger. He kicked 3 goals. What was the game plan to kind of quell his influence? Because I don't know how you do it. He's kicked... We've got 500 goals in his senior career.
Has he kicked that many?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Your brother had the match up on him for most of the night, or if
I've been
not all.
talking to him all week about this. I go, do not let Close jump, because he will just take hanger after hanger.
Well, we've got one right there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. He took a great plug. I'm glad he's a bit further out. He wasn't directly in front of goal. No, look, Close, I played against him when he was at Northcote. I know all about him. Ripper guy, by the way, too. But... he's just so good above his head. And with a side like Ivanhoe, with some quick smaller guys, they're going to get to his feet. So it was really just about not making it easy and pressure up the ground. Making it a high loopy kick, it makes it hard for Close to run and jump at that. So that was important.
Now, before we let you go, Sam, really appreciate your time post-game. Already, I'm sure you're looking towards next week. You've got a 2-0 Fitzroy Stars to take care of at Garvey Oval. Now, I'm sure the preparations already changed. You've seen already with Division 3 how close and competitive it is. Are you under no illusions that every win is just going to be so vital for a competition that many are arguing you're not going to know the premiere of until the final siren in September?
I think, that's probably what I was touching on before about not knowing where we sit in this competition, and it is going to be a different style of footy, so I'm expecting Fitzroy Stars to be super quick. I know guys like Proctor and Burnsy and Jetta and those guys, elite ball users, so it's going to be different again, different style, and we're going to have to prepare for that. On a Garvey, it's a big deck, they're going to have lots of space. Good luck chasing them if they get out. So, yeah, we're going to have to approach that and figure out how we're going to play them. Not sure yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be a cracking contest, that's for sure. But celebrate the win tonight. You thoroughly deserve it. Sam Gilmore, thank you so much for joining us. $100 Edwards Lake Hotel voucher for your efforts tonight.
It, thank you.
And all the best for the upcoming season. We're looking forward to watching you play.
Thanks, gents. Thanks for having me.
Sam Gilmore joining us as part of our NFNL match of the day, or match of the evening broadcast, I should say. And always a great chat to have him involved. As part of any part, not just with, of course, Old Paradians, but in the NFNL in general. He's a fantastic player, an even better person to speak to, and he just spoke so well with us this evening, which we're absolutely grateful for, and we're looking forward to seeing him strut his stuff throughout the 2024 season and beyond. Zach, it feels like he's nice and comfortable. Not that he wasn't at Heidelberg, but looks like he's got plenty of mates here that he's really enjoying his football with, of course, one of those being his brother, and it's great to see him really enjoying his footy.
Yeah, it is. It is really good. And I think, by the way he played tonight, doesn't look like he's feeling a little bit out of form or out of shape. It looks like he's got great chemistry with his midfielders, which is a great start as well. So I think we can safely expect big and great things from Sam Gilmore this year at Old Paradians.
Yeah.